What is up, Baggies fans, football fans, and sports fans, and welcome to another transfer video. Today has been a very, very, very busy day by Albion standards. Some I'm happy with, some I'm not so sure on. We're going to be breaking it down, and it looks like a three out, one in day. So let me know in the comments when we're going through talking about this what your thoughts are on the transfers and the fees that we've been talking about. Let me know who you want us to reinvest with, who you want us to bring in. And of course, always like this video. We're aiming for 40 likes on this video. Subscribe as well. We are well on our way to 600 subscribers and then the big 1K as well, which would be absolutely fantastic if we could get that before the end of the year. So you know what to do. Smash that subscribe button and hit the bell notification to stay up to date with everything on this channel. And let's get into it and talk about today's drama-filled day. Starting with Caleb Taylor. Now, the deal looks to be for around about 2 million going to Millwall, who's had his medical today. And honestly, for a young centre-half that's been on the fringes, I don't think it's too bad of a deal. It's pure profit because obviously it's homegrown. He didn't really look like he was quite ready to make that step up to Championship level, if we're being honest. He had a very good season with Wickham, and I think League One is possibly where suits him best. Watch him go to Millwall now and absolutely have a stormer. But for me, I just think £2 million for him. He's not quite proven at Championship level. Is an absolute steal, and I think it's a very sensible business for us. It's 2 million in the bank, and it's not a player who's guaranteed to start week in, week out, and it's money that we can reinvest. And I think that, as I say, he had a fantastic season with Wickham, but I just don't think he was quite ready to make that step up. And with the players that we brought in centre half, I just don't think he was ever really going to break in to that position. Now, moving on to the right back position, Darnell Furlong is moving to Ipswich Town for a fee of 3.5 million, rising to potentially 4 million with add-ons. Now, this one, obviously, Ipswich seem to be signing our backline. They've got Palmer, Button, Furlong, Kipri, O'Shea, and Townsend. So there's 6 Albion players at the back now for Ipswich. So, they're trying to get promoted with basically Albion backline, which is fair enough, good for them. And he has been a solid servant for the club. But I just think it's one of those ones that potentially Mowbray was talking about as being a bad egg. Somebody that, needed moving on. And I think, okay, while he was captain for the first couple of games, I just think behind the scenes, have we been trying to get him to move on all transfer window and Ipswich have come in. I think it's a sensible move. I do think we've got enough to kind of come in, replace him, either move Campbell to right back. Obviously, Alex Williams' debut against Derby was very good. He's probably not quite ready for it yet. So if we did bring in some right back cover, it would be fantastic. I just think while he's not exactly, irreplaceable, 4 million is fantastic in the bank. It feels like very good business. Ipswich are ambitious. They're going to be pushing for promotion. They've got the money to spend with the sale of Hutchinson and Delap. They've got silly money to spend. And I think, like most Albion fans with this deal, would be fairly happy to see him move on now. And as I say, I think he's possibly one of the last of the bad bunch that, from relegation from the Premier League, that we just needed to move on. And I do think the club is starting to kind of get out that deadwood now, the problematics. And he hasn't been all that this start of this season. Sent off against Blackburn, was poor against Wrexham, and was again at fault for Portsmouth for just letting too many crosses into the box. So let's hope now he's gone on. Campbell can come in at right back, or we get somebody else in, maybe on loan, and we can build from there now. And I do think it's a great piece of business for the Albion. Moving on to the one that's a bit of a stinger, and I think probably hurts a lot of the Albion fans, and it hurts me as well. And it's Tom Fellows. Southampton are signing him for 8 million up front, potentially with 2 million add-ons taking it to 10 million. I just think for that sort of money, should we be letting him go? He's one of our brightest young players. He's proven himself. He got most assists in the league last season. Okay, and while towards the end of last season and the start of this season, he hasn't been the best. He's somebody that can change a game for us. He's somebody that's that bright spark that can create something out of nothing. And, when you look at the likes of players that have been going, like Diblin's gone from Southampton to Everton for like 40 million, to get just under 10 million for him just feels like a slap in the face, especially with the money that Southampton have got to spend now with the sales they've done. It just feels like a bit of a, oh, yeah, we'll just accept that deal. Now, I might be saying this and, the guys running the club might have already got someone lined up that can come in, do a better job and be fantastic. Who knows? But I just think for the price that we've got for him and his potential skyrocket value, I don't think it's worth our time selling him for that much. I really, really don't. It's a shame. If they'd have come in at, 15 million, up front, there you go, and maybe with a sell-on fee. I think a lot of us Albion fans would have probably taken that and have been a bit more happy with it. Obviously, it's not a great money, but I think we'd have been a lot more um, apoplectic with it and a bit more understanding. But it just feels that 8 million is a slap in the face. From what he's already shown and what he can do, it's it's for me, it's a silly sale. However, having said that, I do have full trust in the board and know what and trust what they're doing. I think come Monday next week when the transfer window slams shut, we'd have brought some players in to replace him. And we're sitting here thinking, we've got the best part of 14, 16 million pound just to spend in one day. And how many times can Albion fans say that? How many times have we sold somebody in? I think that is the flip side to Fellows. He hasn't had the best start of the season. Obviously, next year will be in his last 12 months. He hasn't signed anything to say he's extending it. Do we risk him having a poor season and losing out on our investment and him going for 4 million? We've always been a club that's seemed to hold on for our assets for too long, and I think we have to get used to this now where we might be selling it for a little bit undervalue, but at least we've got the money for him. He's coming in, we get a sell on fee, and it will be all good at the end of the day. We'll bring in the players, and I fully trust that that is what we'll do. It just feels a bit of a slap in the face. However, having said all that, we have brought one player in today, and it's Chris Mepham. He's coming from Bournemouth. The fee's rumoured to be about £1 million, which I think is absolutely ridiculous when you look at how well he did at Sunderland last season. He really, for me, walked straight into our back line. I'd have him and Phillips as our centre backs, possibly move Campbell to right back. If we can sign a left back, I think that back line is absolutely fantastic for the Championship season ahead of us. Now we just need to get a bit of creativity going forward. Whether we push Price out to right mid and drop Madger in the number 10 role, who knows? Johnson on the left, Madger, Price, and Heggie. That could be a very good line with Collier and Malumbi behind them. Who knows? But I do think we need to add a bit of creativity. Anyway, coming back to Chris Mepham. £1 million is a steal in today's market. He was absolutely fantastic at Sunderland, as I said. He's comfortable under pressure and he fits into the Mason team. Maybe Mason's going to play a free back. Who knows with Mepham, Campbell, and Phillips. Who knows with wing backs. Apparently, pre-season, that is what has been testing behind the scenes, a 3-4-3 formation. And that's possibly why we've moved Fellows on. Maybe he wasn't quite suited for that formation. Who knows? But I do think at the value that we've paid for him at his age, he's an absolute steal. And again, it's somebody in 12 months' time, 18 months' time, that somebody might come in big for him just because he's had a fantastic season for us. Who knows? It's a fantastic bit of business, and I do really think we've possibly got one of the stronger defences in the league now with who we've brought in. So when you look at the day as a whole, how do you rate it? 3 potentially out, 1 definitely in. Caleb Taylor gone for 2 million, sensible. Furlong gone from 3.5 to 4 million, good values. Fellow's gone for 8 million. It's a little bit disappointing, maybe even frustrating. And then with Mepham coming in for 1 million, outstanding deal. It's a mixed bag. Financially, the club has done well. We've raised potentially 14 to 16 million while only spending 1. But football just isn't about numbers. It's about the players on the pitch, the balance of the squad and the connection with the fans. The worry is whether Fellow's creativity or spark will be replaced, because money in the bank is one thing, but points on the board are another. If this money is going to go a couple more signings before the window closes, then maybe we'll look back and say, hey, it was the right call. But if it just disappears into a black hole of financial stability, the Albion supporters might feel a little bit let down. And I think that is the big worry. If we don't bring in people, are we worrying that where's the money going? And obviously we talked about being financially stable, but I always thought that the Hegem sale was for that financial stability. For me, it's what happens next. If Mepham is the first of 2, 3, 4 smart signings, this could be a very, very good window. If he's the only one, then selling Fellows will overshadow that a lot. So that's the big story today. 3 potential outgoings, 1 definitely ingoing. Taylor to Millwall, Furlong to Ipswich, and Fellows to Southampton, and Mepham in from Bournemouth. Some smart business, some disappointing exits, but definitely a transfer day that has changed the shape of West Bromwich Albion and potentially the last couple of days. So make sure you stay tuned. Obviously, it is transfer deadline day on Monday. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you guys are too. Let me know in the comments section down below what your thoughts are on today's proceedings. And of course, I will catch you in the next episode. Bye-bye, guys.